What's up, Planeswalkers? It's your boy K-Dog. Another fun video for you guys. This one we're going to be running through the historic Pauper event that's running on MTG Arena this weekend. So Pauper, for those of you who don't know, is any card that has ever been printed at the common level. So no uncommons, no rares, no mythics, no Planeswalkers, no sweepers. So you get a chance to kind of play around with some cards you don't normally play around with. And so what we're running here is a Selesnya Enchantress list, so it's all about auras and enchantments. And so the main idea of this deck is kind of leveraging cards like Ancestral Mask here. It's a 2 and green for a enchantment that says enchanted creature gets +2/+2 for each other enchantment on the battlefield. So it's not just your enchantments, it's any enchantment that is on the battlefield. So this obviously running nothing but enchantments for the most part, so this can make our creatures really big. And we'd have just a little bit of evasion, so we're just kind of trying to get a couple creatures down, enchant them, make it harder for our opponent to deal with them, and then trample through or fly through for a bunch of damage all at once and kind of close out the game over a couple of attacks. And the way we're going to get there is 4 Glaring Aegis. It's a 1 mana enchantment. When it enters, tap target creature and opponent controls, and enchanted creature gets +1/+3. So it kind of gives your creatures a nice toughness boost, so you don't have to worry about, say, mono red, things like that. And also acts as a little bit of a removal in a way as you tap down one of your opponent's creatures so they cannot attack. So this is going to work really well. And just at 1 mana, kind of helps you get through for that damage and protect your creatures at the same time. Another way we can protect our creatures is Karametra's Blessing. It's a 1 mana instant. Target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. If it's an enchanted creature or enchantment creature, it also gains hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. So this obviously works really well in the enchantment build. Some of our creatures are already enchantment creatures, so they'll naturally just have the ability to get hexproof and indestructible off of this. And the rest of our creatures should have an enchantment on them fairly quickly, and so this will protect them. Actually, let's try 3 and 3. We'll try it like that. A little improvising here on the fly. I've been kind of tweaking this list here and there. Did run it a little bit in some best of one, just regular historic matches last night, and it seemed like it ran pretty well. Tried it in the historic Pauper event and had some mixed results, so been kind of trying to tweak it a little bit. So we're also running Pious Wayfarer. It's a 1 mana 1/2. Whenever an enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, target creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. And since we do have so many enchantments, we're going to get some nice buffs to our creatures this way, and just having a 1 mana 1/2 is pretty decent in this format. And of course, Gingerbrute is a 1 mana 1/1 with haste, and you can pay 1 so that cannot be blocked except by creatures with haste. So there are a few you might run into, but for the most part, just like in standard, kind of make this an unblockable creature with in most situations, and then we get some enchantments on it and make it attack in for a bunch of damage that cannot be blocked, and so that's going to be pretty sweet. And a little bit of evasion here in Angelic Gift, just as a 2 of, because it does give our creatures flying, and we draw a card when it enters the battlefield, but it does not do anything as far as the power or toughness. But just being able to draw a card, get another enchantment on board, give one of your creatures some evasion is pretty sweet. So just as a 2 of, I think. And 4 of Flutterfox. It's a 2/2 for 2, and as long as you control an artifact or enchantment, Flutterfox has flying. Of course, we just saw Gingerbrute is an artifact, and we're running nothing but enchantments pretty much otherwise. So this is basically a 2 mana 2/2 flyer. So that's going to be pretty sweet in this format. Shouldn't be too many flyers, but there are obviously some things that, like Fairy Miscreant or Healer's Hawk, things like that. But otherwise, it's going to have evasion in most situations, and then you can buff it with some of our other auras and just start swinging through massive points of damage in the air. And if your opponent does have flyers, we do have Pacifism as a 4 of. Enchanted creatures can't attack or block. And also just any big creatures, Killing Fiend, things like that. Obviously, you don't want to deal with that. Most of our creatures are pretty small, so we're just kind of trying to clear the way and keep ourselves alive so we can get kind of set up. 4 of Transcendent Envoy. It is an enchantment creature, and it's also a 1/2 flyer for 2, so not bad. And our spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. So we are pretty low to the ground here. We're trying to kind of keep our curve as low as possible, and this makes all of our 2 and 3 mana auras just that much cheaper. So that's going to be really, really well once we get this guy online with some auras in our hand, and just have a nice evasive flying threat is also pretty sweet. 4 of Setessan Skirmisher, it's a 2/1 for 2. However, whenever an enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn. So obviously this works really well with like a Pious Wayfarer. It works well with like flying, of course, with the Angelic Gift, and of course with Setessan Training, we can give it Trample. We're getting all 4 Setessan Training. When it enters, we draw a card, and enchanted creature gets +1/+0 and has Trample. So just another way for kind of get through for some damage, especially with things like the Setessan Skirmisher and Gingerbrute, things like that. And we already saw the 3 of Ancestral Mask. You could go to 4, but it is 3 mana, so I think 3 is probably the right number. We're running just the 21 lands here, just trying to keep our list as tight as possible. So we're running 10 plains, 5 forests, and of course we're in Pauper, so we just have to run these tap lands. So all 4 Blossoming Sands, since we do gain a life, and a couple of Tranquil Expansers for a little bit of extra fixing. We're pretty white heavy, obviously, but we do need green to kind of get into some of our more powerful threats. So we can kind of survive for a little bit on a couple of white mana, but eventually we'll need to make sure we have a little bit of just that 1 green even, and we should be good to go. Historic Pauper event. And let's jump into it and see how we can do. It'd be so nice if they would just offer us like a Pauper format we could play at any time. I think the, what do they call it, the Artisan, where it's commons and uncommons, is also a lot of fun. Interesting, there's no special rewards for this one. Alright, here up into Brightest Sun. Oh, this is awkward. I mean, we have turn 1 and turn 2 plays. So our hand is playable. And we're likely to draw into some white mana here. So we'll try it. Just don't really trust the mulligans. Wow. Don't know how that works. 5 forests in deck, and we have drawn 3 of them. Looks like we are getting Magic the Gathering, as they say. Elvis Visionary, an all-star in this format. I don't know what's going on, so we'll just punch through with our Gingerbrute. We want to keep our Skirmisher alive so we can kind of get it going with some enchantments. Rabid Bite. Not sure I understand the Rabid Bite. It works well with Death Touch creatures and big creatures, obviously. There we go, 4/4. If we don't draw a white land, then I think we're just dead here. Wow. Okay. We do need to get our Envoy online. It might just be a little bit too late here. We lost this one. We're going to start punching through for a bunch of damage. We're just limited to 1 white mana to slowly get our creatures on, and eventually we have to start chump blocking. Just kind of a long road to victory at that point. Especially if they're just going to keep adding, 4/4s and things like that. And of course, that 4/4 has escape, so if we do deal with it, could potentially just get it back. Unless we had the Pacifism. Alright, so we do have a reasonable hand. Eye Collector. There we go. I think we just want to get our creature online first. And see what we draw. Leave a soul. Okay. Looks like they're on the mono black state. Savage Forger. It's a good one in this format. I'll get +1 counter since we lost life. Okay, how do I want to do this? Unfortunately, we can only play one spell this turn, so I think we'll just lead on Envoy, just to kind of have more options next turn. We can, in theory, chump block the Eye Collector, though they seem pretty heavy on removal in their deck. Okay, go guard. Prismite. I don't understand that card being relevant to them, but can play these foxes down. Just develop our board state a little bit more, and then next turn we can look at the Angelic Gift just to draw a card, and Ancestral Mask to we can probably go Gift into, or Envoy into Gift into Mask, because then our Mask will just cost 1 mana. So we don't care about the skeleton at all, since we can get through in the air. I'm not going to block the Gorger, we're just going to hope we find a Pacifism soon to deal with it. Okay, so we'll start with Envoy. And in this case, I think we'll okay. It's Pacifism. Yeah, I think we'll go for it now. And yeah, let's crash in with all three. Start the race. We do have some pretty powerful spells in hand, so I think we're in a decent spot here. Okay, they can get all the counters they want on the Savage Gorger, but cannot attack or block. All they have is the Eye Collector that can deal with our board. And if they have some spot removal here for one of our creatures, we do have some nice auras to follow up with, so yeah, we're not worried about these creatures on the ground. Raska's Finisher. Prismite just seems like a wasted card. It's 2-1 for 2. It's not very good. You have to pay 2 mana to fix your mana. Alright. We'll start there, draw a card. Another land. We're all in on the Flutterfox here. $27.26 trample? Really? Wow. -17. There we go. So yeah. Ancestral Mask. Putting in some work there. Just love these decks that just kind of win out of nowhere. Let's jump into one more at least. Against Do Good. Also with a sweet, sweet Liliana Avatar. Alright, hand seems fine. Creature, we have some removal and pacifism, and we got 2 of our Ancestral Masks, and we have green mana. So the Expanse, of course. Got our Skirmisher down. Next turn we can Envoy. Plus Pacifism, depending on what they play here. Crashing Drawbridge doesn't really do it for us. We saw with the Wayfarer, so we get the triggers. So 4/3, they can block, but then lose their Drawbridge. As a take 4. So kind of curious what they're running to try to give haste. So far they're just showing mono black since they have the Witch's Cottage. Especially if you're running Drawbridge, you're probably running bigger creatures that you wanted to haste in. But then the Witch's Cottage usually means you have some creatures in the early game you want to try to get back as you play your Witch's Cottage in the mid game. So a little bit of well, definitely could have given a haste and attack to draw a card. Okay. I don't think they have flyers, so I think the Envoy is probably our best bet. But make sure we deal with that, since it does have a nice attack trigger. Now they might be forced to block with a Drawbridge. Taking 6 in the air down to 10. Take it all down to 5. Okay, we have Ancestral Mask next turn if they don't have a way to deal with our Envoy. Or Skirmisher. So we're not quite through, but definitely have some murder or something here. Okay, there we have a flyer. As ghost form, makes our dude bigger actually. So what do we want to put the mask on? Skirmisher is going to get buffed no matter what. Let me try this. I have 3 powerful threats. Man, this Ancestral Mask can get out of hand pretty quickly. Or 1 off of lethal. As Ghost Form does mean they get their Gorger back, but not really in a good spot. We are top decking, so it's not completely over. Okay, that was a perfect draw, but that's not enough. They can only block 1 of ours. And we have the Gingerbrute as well. Alright, that's Ancestral Mask. Putting in a lot of work for us. So I think we'll leave it there. You guys get a good feel for how the deck can operate. It's a lot of fun. You can kind of tweak some of the numbers a little bit, but that's kind of the basic list that I would run. Yeah, Pauper is a pretty fun event. Hope you guys give it a try, and you know, let me know what decks you guys are running. All right, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.